In the words of Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemount High, it's cool, dude. You showed interest. You mentioned, Rodney, you asked me how my warband is going for the AngloDanes. Ask and you receive. I will show you my army, my warband that is, at the drop of a pin. They're not coming out as cool as I was hoping, but they're not done yet. I gotta do a final layer on all of these guys. And some of them are only partially painted. But the next tournament's at the end of, it's in 3 weeks, and so they'll be ready for that. But here's what we have. Here's the main warlord himself. I have to name him yet, kind of in weird shadows here. Let me do this, see. I haven't named him yet, and I haven't painted him. I'm gonna save him till last. So he's the main guy. And then he is, his bodyguard are these 4 Hearthguards with Great Dane axes, and the Great Dane axes give a huge bonus to penetrate the enemy's armor. So when these guys come in, you kind of save them. From what I can tell, you save them until late in the game because there's only 4 of them. But when you come in with your warlord, who also has a number of combat bonuses, and you're coming up against a decisive battle on a weakened opponent, these guys should chew through them. And they're coming out okay. I don't know. Let's see if that comes in for you at all. I still need to either ink them or stain them, and things will pop out a little bit more when that happens. But it's not really focusing anyhow. Yeah, there's a little bit. You know, it's coming out all right. So that's those guys. And then the other Hearthguard are back here. There they are back here. These are the elite warriors. So this would be, you know, the favored warriors of the warlord. And so they're better armored and better equipped and trained. You know, he has to pay them to keep them in their favor, a lot of feasting and so forth. And these guys have spears and shields. What I did was, I have not painted the shields. I bought decals for them, and the decals came out really well at this scale. I've used them for 15mm, and they look good, but they're very fiddly to put on, but at this scale you can work with them a lot better. So far this guy is my favorite of this unit. And, you know, things will pop a little bit more when they're stained. And then of course I still have to finish basing them. Once you flock them, and you know, I've started painting the rocks on here, but once you do that and you put some static grass, some like green grass, and I'm gonna put in some autumn colors, they'll look very good. But right now, you know, I just feel like they're a little bit dark and muddy, and that's partly because I base paint in black and build up from there. Usually if you want it brighter and more vibrant, you base paint in white and build up with there, but it requires a different painting technique. I use mostly dry brushing, and that doesn't work well on white, so that's why I've done that. All right, and then there's 2 units of 8 warriors, and these are basically the serfs. You know, these guys have just been conscripted to come in and go on a war expedition, and so they're poorly trained, they're poorly equipped, but there's a lot of them. There's 8 of them here, and then there's another unit 8 over here. And the same thing, I think at a distance, because of the shield decals, really if you look at it like these miniatures from the battlefield are just, the soldiers are, I'm talking about from a modeling standpoint, the soldiers are just delivery mechanism for the shield, because the shields are what look really cool from a distance. See that? So that's 1 unit of 8, and these guys I need to add a little bit of detail still and wash them, and they'll look better, and then I'll base them, so you won't be able to see the slots here. I'll put grass or shrubs where these slots are. And these guys are, I still have to do the touch up around the shield, see where the white is showing. What happens on these shields is you have to paint them, you know, I base everything black. For the shields, you have to paint them in down to white all the way. So you have to go a layer of gray to build up from black, a layer of dark gray, layer of light gray, layer of light white, and then a layer of bright white. So it's a little bit laborious, but once you've done that, then these decals will sit on there like so. And because of the white background, there will be no color deterioration in the decals. Then you paint the edges and you put a little silver where that boss is in the center and so forth. These ones that I'm showing you right now go on the back of these hearth guards with the great axes. They'll glue on right there where the leather strap is. So anyhow, that's, I don't know why I got into that little ramp, but that's how that works. And then when those are done, probably not enough light, but I've got the Byzantines in here ready to go next. The Byzantines, if I can get them ready for the tournament, that would be awesome. But that's not really probably realistic. And the main goal is just to get my one warband done. This is a little bit light. For the tournament, I need to get 2 more points of troops. And so that probably means I need 4 more of these guys, or probably 4 more of these guys and 8 more of these guys, which is more than I can get done. Or the other thing that I might do as a little rope-a-dope is there's this Jarls Viking, or Jarls Viking, J-A-R-L-S Viking, Jarls Viking. It's a unit of 4, and they work as a mercenary. And they've got a bunch of cool rules that's tied to them. It's probably for a tournament, probably not a good idea because there's only 4 units, or four soldiers in their units. And I'd be going up against, you know, figure a standard army will have what I have, and then 2 more of these type of guys. You know, so that's a lot. You know, I'll be outnumbered quite a bit. But if I had this and these 4 more Jarls Vikings, I think it's somewhat flavorful, and I'd be disadvantaged, but it could be fun to play. And in any event, that would mean that I only have to do 4 more models to get everything ready for the tournament, instead of, you know, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more, which is just unrealistic, really. But that's it. That's what they're looking like. And since you asked, I thought I'd show you. And you know, they're looking okay, but they're not there yet. Once they're inked and once they're based, I think they'll look better. And you know, what I've tried to do is make sure that it doesn't look like they're necessarily in uniforms. Certainly not these peasants. These guys back here, I tried to give a common color thread of blue, but I didn't, with the shields and everything, I didn't want them to look like they're a trained unit of, you know, they're not wearing uniform. These guys, the Great Dane axe, I did a lot of red and yellow, and so that came out like they're looking a little too uniformed. This guy, I've decided to repaint with some green. See the green in him, to try and touch things up a little bit, make it different, that is, differentiate it. But I'm not sure, with the bodyguard, it might be kind of cool to have them wearing roughly the same colors. I don't know. And then I gotta spend some time finishing this guy up, and he's of course the centerpiece, and so it'll be good. These guys here get 8 attacks in a turn, and these guys here get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And then I can add some bonus dice onto them. So when these guys get into these guys are fodder, and their job is to counteract movement, enemy movement, you know, to block and things like that. But then it's also just to whittle down the enemy troop and position themselves so that they do some damage, they retreat, and then these guys come blowing in with their axes and with their multiple attacks, and they can just eliminate whatever unit's already damaged. So. All right, AngloDanes. Yeah. It's not focusing. All right, I'm off to work. See ya.